Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is the 63rd part of What If Deku Was Sanji's Reincarnation, My Heroes Reborn. The author of this great fanfic is Emily. Links to them and original story in the description. Chapter 63, The Reassessment begins. Katsuki held his new swords. They had a good weight but they weren't perfect, but to fair they were built by someone who was clearly a mad scientist. Combined with the point of them was a set of swords to channel his explosive sweat. I don't know how you were probably use your explosions in combination with the sword. But they should work, said Mei. Don't worry. I already figured out how to use them, said Katsuki with a crazy smile. Okay. Just remember to tell Orchestra Rave about my new babies, said Mei. Whatever, muttered Katsuki. Afterwards he managed to get to that day's therapy session. Well, after what happened yesterday, I think I should really talk about that thing I did that, well, I'm ashamed of, said Mashareo. And so he told him that in his past life he used his curse to pretend to be a normal pig and was the pet to a girl he liked. Oh, what the fuck? Yelled Katsuki. Seriously, said Izuku in Sanji mode. I know peeped in my past life, but that's even worse. No one was surprised that Izuku peeped in his past life after his serve personality clashes. I know it was messed up, said Mashareo, and I'm deeply ashamed of it. Did the girl who you were tricking ever find out? Asked Hibiki. She did. She beat me up really badly, multiple times. It took years for us to be on speaking terms again, sighed Mashareo. The girls all glared at him. Good, said Momo. I knew this was going to happen, sighed Mashareo. He regrets everything, said Hibiki. Wait, please tell me you regret everything. I do. I swear, said Mashareo. Look, I'm sure that all of you regret something involving your teenage years from your past life, and changes are good. You'll regret something you will regret about this life as you get older, said Hibiki, who then looked at Katsuki. And I just remembered who I'm talking to. Katsuki nodded, realizing that after his breakdown yesterday it might be hypocritical to point these things out. Also, Mosshead had a high-tech suit he used to peep in his past life, said Katsuki. High-tech suit? Asked Ochiko. It was a gift from my birth family, muttered Izuku in Sanji mode. I don't want to talk about it right now. But the point still stands. We all know that Izuku peeped on women in his past life, but he would never do it in this life, said Hibiki, and we also know that Mashareo, if he was able to, wouldn't pose as a girl's pet pig. The girls all begrudgingly agreed. I never looked at her, partially because I would faint from a bloody nose if I even saw her in her underwear, said Mashareo, blushing. Everyone looked at him, unsure how to respond. You did something really perverted in your past life, but you were so shy that you couldn't really look at her? Asked Momo with a sweat drop while in Urza mode. Yeah, sighed Mashareo. There was tankard silence in the room. Also, sleeping with her wasn't fun. She tended to punch and kick her in sleep, said Mashareo. Okay. I think I'm starting to get less angry about this, said Ochiko. It's one of those things that I think it's best to separate lives, like what we do to Izuku and his peeping, said Hibiki. We're able to do that easier because Izuku will faint if he's in a situation that calls for peeping, said Toru. Unless I'm able to get distracted with something else, said Izuku. Mashareo nodded, remembering how he got Izuku to focus on something else when Mineta tried to peep at camp. As things were winding down, Hibiki knew that he had to change the subject. So we won't have a session tomorrow, and hopefully I don't have to explain why, said Hibiki. The reassessment, said Izuku. I got my swords today, said Katsuki with a grin. Yay! That's going to so much fun. So much fire and explosions, said Aiko. Now's not the time, Aiko, said Hibiki, but yeah. I recruited a bunch of heroes to carry it out. Most of them are our fellow reincarnations, but in one case I decided to go with a hero that's not. Really, who? Asked Izuku. It's a surprise, said Hibiki. Izuku's sweat dropped. I won't say who all of them are, said Hibiki, but the reincarnations are all ones you've interacted with in one form or another. I won't say who. Are they Yuzu, Hana, and Shuko for the three of us? Asked Momo. You'll just have to wait and see, said Hibiki. Why didn't they do this when this first happened? Asked Katsuki. He'd understand if it was just for him. Because in the chaos of the USJ things just fell apart, said Hibiki. I'm pretty sure Aizawa did mention that before. He did pretty much during the explanation of the initial plans for camp. But to fair, the camp was so chaotic that it made sense that everything was forgotten about said discussion. So yeah, this reassessment will be important. The school needs to know your power levels so you can't hold back at all, said Hibiki. The 6 students nodded. The next day they were once again training, which meant Katsuki trying out his new sword with techniques that involved 2 sword and occasionally unleashing explosions from his new swords. I don't get paid enough for this, grumbled Aizawa, seriously considering asking for a raise. Towards the need, Vlad King was there with Itsuka and Monoma. The class looked at them taking a short break. You know, we still have 10 minutes, said. So I heard today you're getting reassessed, said Monoma. How pathetic. Both Vlad King and Itsuka looked at Monoma like he was crazy. In Class 1B, those that were conscious after the League of Villains attack were told about Priestess and her quirk to explain what happened to Katsuki. Itsuka was among that very few that remained conscious during that time, so she was told about it. I've told you multiple times, the reassessment is because of the skills they gained in their past life, said Vlad King. That was when Katsuki unleashed an explosive sword silse knowing that Monoma was watching. Oh yeah, remember what Awase said, said Itsuka. He was a master swordsman in his past life. Monoma was twitching. Will we be able to get a copy of the reassessment footage? Asked Vlad King. You will, if only to calm him down, said Aizawa. Vlad King nodded. Once they wrapped up, Hibiki showed up. Alright, if you want to watch the reassessment, follow me, if not you can just go back to the dorms, said Aizawa. It was clear that all of their classmates wanted to watch. Alright, Izuku, Achiko, Toru, Momo, Mashireo, and Katsuki. Follow me, said Hibiki. I have to show you who you're going to face. The 6 nodded, all ready for this. They followed Hibiki to where they knew they were meeting the heroes that would be helping them. When they got the meeting spot, they saw there were 4 heroes. And the 4 were quickly recognized. Choco, said Momo. Choco smiled at her. Awa, you're here, said Izuku. Hey, said Aoi, who was the second. Hana. Long time no see, said Achiko. It's good to see you again, said Hana, who was the third. Sup guys, said Sito, who was the fourth. What about the other 2? Asked Izuku. Oh come, you didn't figure it out? Aged Hibiki, I'm one of the ones. Should have known, said Katsuki. As for the one that isn't, who isn't a reincarnation, said Hibiki. A figure jumped down from somewhere. Almost everyone gaped, as it was All Might. You know, in hindsight I guess I shouldn't be surprised, said Izuku. I think we all know why I asked All Might, said Hibiki. Yeah, it does make sense, said Sito. How does any of this make any sense? Asked Hana. There was an awkward silence. And someone didn't let Hana into the loop, said Aoi with a sweat drop. Hana. All Might is Izuku's mentor, sighed Hibiki, knowing he forgot explain it. You need to socialize more, said Achiko. I know, sighed Hana. Alright, the first one will be Achiko against Hana. said Hibiki. The second will Mashireo against Sito. Wait, why Sito? Said Mashireo. Oh, reasons, said Hibiki. It's because of righteous fury, isn't it? Asked Mashireo. It is, said Hibiki. After that is Toru against Aoi. Wait, why am I not fighting Yuzu? Asked Toru. Said Hibiki. She didn't want to do, said Aiko bluntly. Yeah, she really didn't want to fight you, sighed Hibiki. That's okay, said Toru. It kind of makes sense she would want to fight me. Okay, after that will be Momo and Chuko, followed by Izuku and All Might, and of course lastly will be me and Katsuki, said Hibiki. So I get to kick your ass, said Katsuki, grinning at Hibiki. Remember, the point of this isn't to win or lose but to gauge your abilities, said All Might. That's right. We're supposed to see what your limits are and the skills you have, said Hibiki. The rest of you can go to the viewing area until your turn, or you can hang out somewhere. Come on, Achiko. It's our turn, said Hana. Right, said Achiko. All of the others decided to watch, while the other adults got ready for it. This really wasn't a something to win or lose, however all of them knew that the results were going to be interesting for sure. That will be it for this part. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and comment if you want part 64. If you want to hear more from me, subscribe. I hope to see you all in the next one.